This is Joe Bains, and he is going to talk about diabetes. And the first question is, what are diabetes?
Well, so what is diabetes is your question, isn't it, child?
Yes.
Well, what diabetes is insulin resistance.
Oh.
So to explain that, well, the scenario is what a healthy body does. So in a healthy body, you take food in, your digestive system processes that food, and it enters the bloodstream. And depending on what type of food you've eaten, it raises the sugar level up in your bloodstream. Now, as the sugar level in your bloodstream goes up and up, the pancreas kick in, and because too much sugar in your blood is bad for you, and so your pancreas kick in and send out a message, and that message is called insulin, and it's a message to all your cells in your body, including your muscles, to say, right, absorb this sugar. And the muscles and the rest of the organs and the cells in your body absorb the sugar. The sugar level starts to drop, and when it gets to a normal level, which is 5.8 and below, then everything is cool after that. So that's what happens in a normal body. But what happens in a diabetic body, especially diabetes type 2 we're talking about here, is you eat your food, the stomach digests it, and then the sugar gets absorbed into your bloodstream, and the sugar level starts to rise. And so the pancreas send out a signal saying to the cells to absorb the sugar. Now the cells ignore that signal because maybe they're full or something's gone wrong. So the cells, that means they're insulin resistant, so they ignore the signal of the insulin. So what your pancreas do, is they then send an even bigger signal, which is like shouting. So they then shout at the cells in your body going, come on, absorb the sugar. And so the cells reluctantly start absorbing some sugar. And so what happens there is your pancreas are working overtime because they're shouting all the time. And so your insulin levels in your blood stay high and they go up. And because your cells don't absorb the sugar in your blood stays up as well. And if you have too much sugar or insulin in your blood for a long period of time, then it causes loads. It's basically like an acid, and it starts corroding your insides out. So it can cause heart attacks, high blood pressure, cancer, all kinds of problems, blindness. Your feet need amputating, being cut off. Loads of problems, and that's just for starters. So that's what insulin is. Now, to give you an example, say we take a river. If you put debris in the river, if you throw stuff in the river, if you put too much stuff in the river, then the river slowly starts getting clogged up. And insulin is like the beavers in the river that clear up the debris. But if you take too much rubbish in, if you clog the river up too much, and you're throwing too much waste into it, the beavers, which is the insulin, can't keep up, and so the river eventually gets clogged up. And when the river gets clogged up, it overfloods, and that's like your insulin that's like your sugar levels going up and not coming down. And the flooding is like the damage being done to your body. Yeah, and so in the river scenario, what you would do is you would start clearing up the river. That's called insulin sensitivity. Yeah, so you would start making the river cleaner, and you would also throw less rubbish in the river. Yeah, and so the beavers wouldn't have to work so hard while they're clearing up. So that's what insulin is. Well, that's what diabetes type 2 is. Diabetes type 1, by the way, is where the pancreas, over years and years of working too hard, they eventually give up and they eventually stop producing insulin. And then you have to take insulin injections. So that's diabetes type 1, which is very bad news. Insulin type 2 is easy to reverse. It's easy to deal with. But type 1 is a lot harder because then you need injections, and it's just a lot more messier. So that's it.
Thank you, Joe Bains. That was very long, interesting, and very specific. And I can understand every single word.